Okay, Mr. Checco Varese, welcome to the craft. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you. Um, the time difference helps because one is in Ohio and is 7 degrees Celsius. The other one is fantastic Formentera with sardine. And I'm in London that has been dark for the last 7 hours. So it's very depressing, but nice. Nothing wrong with London.
Well,
It's better now.
we are working, so that's an advantage.
That's very good for a lot of people that is not.
Exactly. So, Checo, the first thing that popped out when I was researching you a little bit before the interview is that you were a world reporter for 14 years. I didn't know that, and the first question that came to my head is how did that influence on the way you see things and the way you photograph things?
Once you are a documentary or a news cameraman, and I mean, war reporter sounds very exciting because we all have seen Civil War and whatever movie of the flavor of the month is. The truth is, most of the time I was waiting in an office for a prime minister to give me a press conference. So the adventures are many, but they're not that often. A few helicopters that didn't land it properly, a few people that shot at us in the wrong time, but it made me a completely different cameraman. I am who I am because of that. When I walk into a space, let me backtrack a little bit. I studied architecture, so I'm an architect. That's what I studied. And I always say it's the best thing I could have done because architects build spaces. We don't build walls, unlike some developers from New York that happen to be presidents. We don't build walls, we'll build spaces. Cinematographers, we don't light walls, we light spaces. So being an architect gives me the ability to understand a space, and to understand the flow of a space. You know, in a kitchen, if you have the stove and the fridge and the sink, it needs to be a triangle. So you take the things from the fridge, you take it to the sink, you wash them and you chop it and you put it in the stove. So that's a triangle. If it's not in a triangle, it takes you twice as much time to cook. Same as a cinematographer. If the blocking doesn't make sense, it takes you twice as much to cover it because there is a master, and then I need this island and that island and the other island, and then my grandmother's island and everybody's island. So being a documentary or a news cameraman or a war correspondent, however you want to place it, when I walk into a room, I look, where is the sun? Even if it's a stage, where would the sun be? You know, the sun is is there. And when does the scene takes place? At 3 p.m. So the sun is low, you know, and it's hitting the counter. Therefore, it bounces off the counter. And that's what I do. I do a documentary, and to honor a compatriot of yours, Nestor Almendros, he used to say, I don't film for realism. Because realism is, he didn't say that, I'm saying that realism is CNN. You know, that's real. That you point the camera and what happens, happens. As a cinematographer, I try to do naturalism. So it's realism enhanced to create feelings. So I always start from where should it be? Where is the sun? Where the sun should be, you know. Even if it's a stage in a futuristic movie. Okay, there is no sun because the Earth has died and there is no sun. Well, is there a moon? Yes. Where should the moon be? You know, and you start from there. You have to ground yourself into something.
What did that transition look like from the war correspondence realm to narrative filmmaking? How did that happen, and what was that mindset shift like?
There are two things happened. The first thing was I was in Mexico. Out of the 11 countries I lived in, happened to be in Mexico, and somebody said, "You're a cameraman." I'm like, "Yes." "Well, we're shooting second unit. We need a C camera for a stunt." This was like 35 years ago. And I said, "Okay, what is a stunt?" And they go, "Okay, it's this guy that is gonna jump from there to here and fall into a mattress." Okay, great. So the first thing that happens is I look at the viewfinder and it's in color because it's an optical viewfinder. And I'm like, wow, it's in color instead of like a little black and white TV that I've used. I was like, wow, this is easier because it's in color instead of being freaking black and white, like 0 resolution. So the guy goes, "Okay, so you need to tilt down and stop before you see the mattress because you need to see the guy falling." So he gave me a 25 millimeter lens and I went like, and I stopped. And the guy, the stunt coordinator goes, "Oh, that's pretty good. Can you do it tighter?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So he gave me a 50 and then we did it again. And I stopped when I needed to stop. And then all of a sudden more people came around the camera. This is film time, so we had a little video assist. And they go, "Can you do it when at 135? And I'm like, "I don't know what a 135 is, but yes, of course I can do it." So I did it, and I stopped where I needed to stop. And the guy goes, "How do you do that?" And I'm like, "I've done it for 14 years. I don't know where people are going to get shot at, where they're running. I mean, this is what I do. You point at the guy with the crosshair somewhere that it looks nice, and you keep rolling until somebody shoots at you. So, I mean, that's what you do."
Then you duck.
And then if they shoot at you, you go like this, "Sorry, sorry, sorry," and you go away, you know? So that was the beginning of the conversation. And the other part of the conversation, right before that, I remember I was in El Salvador and I asked my assistant, "Is this the first bottle of scotch or the second bottle of scotch of the night?" And he goes, "It's the second bottle of scotch of the night." And I'm like, shit, sorry. Oh, darn. I said, "Oh, darn," using another word. I think we should change professions.
Yeah.
It was the
Stressful,
90s. We all thought we were changing the world. We all thought we were making the world a better place. We realized that because of and I'm not going to get political, but because of the corporate ownership of who we were working for, we weren't changing the world. So no, it was a little too much.
And do you still operate the camera in your projects or you don't? Because coming from
Every time.
every time, right? Yeah. I mean,
Not
it has
every
to be-
time, as much as I can.
Yes.
And I ask for forgiveness. Sorry. It's not that I'm better than you, but I really know, I think I know what I want, and it's hard to explain. Can I do the rehearsal? And then, can I do the next take? And, since I'm here, why don't I do the whole thing? Yes, I do that.
Yeah.
But you and I come from the same world. Rodrigo does it, Chivo does it, we come from that world,
Yeah, it's really difficult to not operate the camera, and you're right, because we were raised as DPs in a country that is not the U.S. although we all three work in the U.S. now, but because we were raised in countries where the DP will operate the camera at all times. When I started as a DP, there was no such a thing like a camera operator. It was for granted you were operating the camera if you were the DP. It's so difficult to get rid of that habit. It really is. The movie I'm making now, I'm the camera operator too. So it's really
but
difficult.
I also believe that, I don't know, but you spend 3 or 4 weeks with the director talking about it, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You went to all the locations, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You look at all the spaces. You understand what the blocking may or may not be. You have talked to everyone. And then all of a sudden, there is this guy that came with 1 day of prep and sits on the camera and says, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I'm like, sorry, mate. I would like a coffee with a little bit of milk, 0 sugar, and then let me do this, and then you'll come back. With all due respect for the A camera operators that create the shot and have a profession that is very difficult. I don't know you, I usually operate the B camera.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I let someone operate a camera, so helps me light while that person is with the director. But I like to have the big camera in my hands. I want to be able to do the close up while they're doing the master and stuff like that. So yes, and sometimes we change roles. Like sometimes it's like, hey, let me do the master now because I know exactly what I want, and it's a little bit free in that respect. But yes, normally I carry the A camera operator and I'm B because it's better for everyone, I think.
And I also think B is much fun. The A camera is the one that does all the dolly and the thing and the marks and rehearsing and everything, and I get bored, So the B camera is like the long lens. Good luck,
Here
everyone.
now, go, yeah.
Here now, go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finding options throughout. Do you find, so Wanmi talks about all the time where, and I'll speak for you just a little bit and you correct me, Wanmi. You talk about how when you're operating, sometimes you feel it's a lot to focus on both the lighting aspect and the framing aspect, but then there's also that simultaneous thing, for lack of a better word, where framing and lighting are so intertwined that you can't kind of separate them. But do you find it impedes your ability to light or your focus on lighting, or it actually helps you to be at the camera?
I think it's a very smart yet very difficult question, because I do believe that it's based on a case-by-case basis. I honestly think that once I'm lit, I'm lit. And pretty much, unless something tragic happens and the actor decides to go to the window instead of the closet, I'm fine, and I can do more or less whatever I need to do, I don't find it confusing. I find it liberating, because there is another thing that Juanmi actually may agree with me is, once you're on camera, you're alone and there is silence. And silence and lack of questions is something I look forward every day. So once I'm on set, I'm looking through the viewfinder or sometimes the monitor, depending at some age, leaning into a viewfinder when the dolly is low becomes a little too much.
Yes.
It's like, yeah. And nowadays the extension viewfinder really doesn't work anymore, because it's this stupid thing that whether Arri or Sony has the device that is completely awkward and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But there is the silence, and is the loneliness, and is the happiness of people not asking you questions constantly. Operating is liberating because you're one with the actor or the actors,
Exactly.
but especially because you're one with the audience. You're the only person that is ever gonna see this movie like the audience will. You know, it's like when you look at a viewfinder, whatever it is, the craft service girl that happens to be very cute and just brought, or guy that happens to be very handsome, that just brought shrimp crosses the frame. When you're in the viewfinder, you don't see that. You don't get distracted. You don't, when you're on the monitor or where you back at the DIT, there is a person coming and you go, oh, the take is great. And it's like, can I have some shrimp, please? Or may I have a coffee? You know? Or just to talk to the handsome boy or girl, whatever it is, or nice person that is coming. When you're operating, you are one with the audience. And that's amazing. That the feeling of being the first person that sees that ever. Nobody's gonna see it like that. The next time somebody sees it is chopped, cut, color corrected, whatever it is. You are the only person that saw that way. It's liberating and it's exhilarating. It's like being an astronaut and looking down at the earth through the little window. It's like, wow, that's how it looks?
And to me, the feeling of being there with the actors is what it's. Of course, the importance of framing for the lighting, but being part of the scene. When you're not in the camera, and I at the beginning when the DITs started, I was like, I'll be with the DIT. And then it's like, this is not making movies for me. I was a focus puller before I was a DP, so I was used to be there with between the camera and the actors. And that community, that communion is what I miss the most. And that's why I came back to operate, even if it's big camera, just to be there, to be part of it at all times, through the entire process. And that the fact that the actors know you, because when you're in the tent, the guy who's the guy who's back there, who's the DP, that the guy with the white hair over there. But now I'm lighting, I'm with the meter, I'm talking to them, and then I'm with the camera, giving them directions, and that makes me be part of the movie, or at least I feel it like that, and that's why it's so.
No,
important.
but you're right. You are part of the movie because there is. By the time you get out of the tent. The DIT has a tent because we need to be dark, blah, blah, blah. By the time you get out of the tent, you walk the 25 steps to go to the set, the director has changed the shot already because he ran through it. He went there and said, no, we're doing this, that, and the other. So you run there, and then you have to ask the operator, what did he say?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, don't worry, you'll be all right. which maybe is true, but the other question is, are you having a closer relationship to the director than me? Not that I want to have a closer relationship, I don't care. But I'm the one that has to understand what the process is. So by being so extrapolated and so far from the process, I become a very expensive DIT. Yeah. Or a very expensive gaffer. Well, yeah. I hope I was expensive, but sometimes I'm not. But, so it subtracts you from the equation completely.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Mm-hmm. That's yeah.
Do you are most of your projects now multi-camera, or do you still get the rare opportunity to do a single camera picture?
Most of the time, there are two cameras, and I don't mind that. On the contrary, I like it. I haven't done a single camera in probably 15 years, probably more. La Misma Luna, that was 2004, so whatever, 20 years ago, Jesus Christ, 18. Yeah. No, I don't mind that. I put the second camera where I want to, most of the time.
Those are the perks of being the big camera operator too. No?
Exactly. No, we cannot do this. We need to do that. Why? Can I do this? No. No.
Checo, you have started lots of TV shows where you are the first block DP, so you're setting the look of it, which in a way it's similar to make a movie. It's just like something somewhere around 1.5 2 hours, 3 episodes, and in a movie is kind of the same, and you're the one kicking it off. So because of that, do you make any difference between shooting a TV show or a TV or a movie? Is there something a different approach or not?
I shot 31 pilots. They used to call them pilots. Now, for your information and my information too, now they like to call them prototypes.
Prototypes? Okay.
Prototypes. So do you shoot the prototype? I'm like, I beg your pardon? A pilot? No. We don't call them pilots anymore. It's prototypes. Okay, anyway. Yes. I shot 31 pilots and 28 of them have been picked up. In a time where we were shooting 700 pilots and 10 were picked up. So
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I have to say, to me, if I were to be a soccer player, pilots are the amistoso, how do you say, the
friendlies, yeah, the friendly
friendly
games.
game that it preps me for the actual Olympic competition, you know.
Mhm.
So it keeps the muscle fresh, it keeps my memory fresh. Pilots are as demanding as a movie. You just have 12 days to shoot it, sometimes 18. Sometimes Guillermo del Toro 22 days for the strain, but usually 16, 18 days for a 1 hour. So that means your movie is 36 days, which is 5 weeks, which is a very small movie. You know, 8 weeks is a small movie. So no, I take the pilots as seriously as I would take a small movie or a medium-sized movie. But the other responsibility that I always thought I should have is, in a pilot or in a prototype nowadays, in a pilot you get more time and more money. Not excessive, but more money than the poor guy that comes behind me shooting episode 2.
Yeah.
So I shoot for 14 days, he shoots for 8. I spend as much money as the producers want, he only spends the money the producers allow him to spend.
Yeah.
So I always was very responsible in terms of, yes, I wish I can have a techno crane every day to do all these crazy moves. Is the other guy gonna have a techno crane every day? No, he's gonna have one day. So if I create a look that cannot be replicated, then
Yeah.
people, episode 2, is gonna say, what am I watching?
What happened?
That was great. This is horrible. I mean, horrible. This is different.
Yeah.
And by the same token, if you were to look at every award that has ever been given to a cinematography, you never get an award for the pilot. You get an award for episode 3, because the pilot usually sucks.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are telling everybody's story. You're trying to make every look good. You're trying to tell her story, his story, the background, and etc. Pilots are usually the boring episodes.
Yeah.
If I were to tell you, please look at the series I did, I would tell you, look at episode 3. Because it's when the series, it's the gravitas of the series lands. You know, so it's a catch-22. Yes, I shoot them like movies. And I'm sorry, this question was answered very long.
No, it was a
No.
great answer actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even, that's where my head was going as you were talking about the pilot of, oh God, what happens to guys 2, girls 3 that come after you, and the consideration there. That's very empathetic of you. Yeah.
Well,
But
it's
also
not
realistic
empathetic,
because
it's
you want
realistic.
you want the look. Yeah, you want the look to be consistent.
And I also want the people to watch episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and be picked up again. Not that I get any residuals, I wish I could, but it's just for the sake of our profession. I mean, I'm shooting something that somebody's going to look later.
Yeah.
It cannot be, oh, I did Formula One and all of a sudden episode 2 is like the Tour de France with like an iPhone, you know?
Yeah.
No.
True. Yeah. Does kind of a little pivot.
Do you
but
mind if
along
I
the
get
same
a
line.
little more coffee? Sorry.
No, go ahead,
go
please.
ahead.
Can I have some?
Absolutely. Let's take a break. Yeah.
I ran out of coffee here, Alex.
So after our conversation, maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe it was that brief, like 10 minutes we had after the last episode. I'd been drinking yerba mate for a while.
Yeah.
Yerba mate
And,
has more caffeine than coffee, you know that, yeah?
And a few other things too, but I like the way that
don't know
I just feel a
about
little
that,
sharper.
Depending on where you get the yerba mate from.
Yeah, and but Wanmi had started drinking coffee again. I was like, oh man, I miss coffee. So I, did a little French press, and for the last week now, it's just like, I'm so glad to have my coffee back.
I just realized.
I lived in Argentina for 4 years, and I was getting the jitters, you say, when you start shaking?
Yes. Yeah, the eaters, yeah.
I was getting the jitters in Argentina, and they said, yes, of course, it has more caffeine than coffee.
Yeah, it's a totally different feeling, and I definitely find it's too easy to have too much.
Well, and it sharpens your brain somehow more than coffee, because coffee at some point, it just doesn't wake you up, because it doesn't sharpen. Yerba mate is closer to green tea, actually.
Yeah, and that's why I started it, was for the antioxidants and kind of health benefits, supposedly, of it. But coffee's just as good,
Well, I'm Italian by heart, so coffee.
It's in your blood.
No, exactly. It's part of my blood.
Yes. Yeah. So to pick back up, try to figure out how to phrase this in regards to what we've been talking about. Maybe just cut right to it. So technology in the lighting realm has changed dramatically, like for all of us over the past 10 years, with the introduction of kind of sky panels and light mats and Astera tubes. Has it, maybe a stupid question, has it changed the way that you approach scenes and movies and your lighting style? Has it just augmented it? Has it benefited it? Or are you still sticking with tungsten only?
That's a very, 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 very difficult question to answer because, okay, how old are you?
37.
Okay. Your older brother or your father used to have LPs, yes? Like vinyl, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then somehow they had to transition to cassette tape, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And they convinced them that cassette was better because you could build your own playlist and record and blah, blah, blah. And you can have it in the car and it lasts 90 minutes instead of 15 and 15, whatever, 20 and 20. And then your cousin came up to your house with a CD and said, oh my God, this is much better than the cassettes because the quality is amazing. And you go, yeah. So your father had 600 vinyls, and then you had 90 tapes, and now you have 800 CDs. And then a guy came up with this thing called Napster, and then whatever, Apple something. So now we don't have anything, we just have that, which you and I don't own it. Somebody owns it, so if they disappear, all my music will go bananas. Mm-hmm. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Yes, I could try and shoot in film. Yes. 8 episodes of Hulu in film, people watching daily 6 days later. I would love to. I don't know if I can convince a studio exec to do that. So I don't have a choice. I'm a card player in Las Vegas, and I'm playing with the cards I'm given. Do I like the cards? Yes. I think the Sony Venice is an extraordinary camera. I think the Alexa 265 is a great camera, and so forth and so on. I think the LED lights are great. I miss the punch. By punch, I mean I miss the sharpness of a tungsten light or an HMI. LED is getting close to it. I just saw a couple of lights yesterday that were interesting. I'm not making a commercial, but there was one light that I'm like, interesting. This starts looking like a 5K 30 years ago, you know? Do I have a choice? No, I don't. I have to work with what I have. I do believe that the LED revolution, quote unquote, has made every movie very soft. So everybody has soft light, like Kwame right now, or like you right now, because you have a window to your left. Am I right?
No, there's no window. No, it's a light mat for. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. That's a window. But so everything is very soft, and it's usually soft, and everybody looks like Jessica Chastain, you know. Even the muscular guy looks like Jessica Chastain. You know, you're trying to, and I say that with all due respect for Jessica, which I work with, but everybody's soft and beautiful and has no wrinkles, you know. I respect people trying to shoot in film or shooting in film. I respect people trying to shoot in film with tungsten. Is that for everyone? No, not really. Unless your last name is Nolan or whatever. Yes, of course, I would love to shoot something in IMAX with only tungsten. Yeah, let's talk to the studio and see if they want to spend $250,000 only in the lab. Your question is very important. I don't have a choice. The choice I'm given is the choice of the world. I work in a market. I work in a system that it's a business. I serve the director and the script first and foremost. But I also serve Mr. $250,000 a week hedge fund manager that says why. The other day I got a question, and it's like, I'm doing a movie in London and we're shooting on a stage, and the stage is quite large, and they asked me, do you have 250 lights hanging from the ceiling? And I said, yes. Why are there so many lights? And I said, because you guys decided to shoot it on a stage as opposed to on a street. If it's a street, then I look up and it's bright, and I adjust. I mean, it's free. You know, if it's on a stage, let's turn off the lights and see how it looks. So it's all based on that. Do I believe LED is better than tungsten? Probably yes. Probably yes. Is it at the level of what tungsten was at the heyday of tungsten? No. But tungsten wasn't as good as you and I remember, Juanmi and I remember, because tungsten was shitty in the late 60s. You had 3 types of light. You know? Like in the early 80s, you have 7 types of light. So, no, I don't mind. I don't mind LED.
I have to say a personal anecdote that happened to me on Friday. So 2 days ago, I am doing a film that has lots of locations. We have to go very fast. There's action. So my whole package is LEDs, including some of those very sharpy, strong LEDs. On Friday, I had to shoot a scene where I want to recreate the sunlight, and I brought an M90. And the minute we turned it on, I said, "Oh my God, do I miss these lights?"
Of course.
It's a completely different quality of light. The caveat is that when we shoot LEDs nowadays, we go fast. We can control everything from a computer, from a phone, or whatever. And for that light, we have to put frames in front. We have to put screens, and it takes 5 guys to manage that, to handle the thing. So yes, we live in the world we live in, and the LEDs are a great tool, I think. But when you go AV and HMI with some of the LEDs, they pale. I mean, it's a whole different experience.
To honor your feeling, so we finished the budget, and the producer comes to me for this movie, which is all interiors, night. It's a movie about, I don't know if I'm breaking any rules, but anyway, it's a Paramount movie based on the Charles Dickens book, The Three Ghosts of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Scrooge, but very dark, very sort of like, not dark lighting wise, but very dark emotionally. But there are a couple of scenes that are at the next day, and he feels like a new person. So in the truck package, which Juanmi, you know what I mean by that, is the producer comes to me and says, "Why do you need two 20Ks, two 10K beam projectors, and two M90s, two M40s, and two 1.8s, you know?" And I said, "Because I want to. Because I need them." There is no explanation for it.
Yeah.
If I feel like I want that sharp, beautiful sunrise coming through the window, that is never going to come from an LED in 2025 or 26. Maybe in 2030 it may. Right now, it doesn't. So, this is it.
Yeah.
It's different tools for different things, and the unfortunate thing is that we're leaning more and more and more towards the only LEDs. In my case now, because of speed question, and the producers are getting used to be faster and cheaper, and that's why those questions arise. Why you need that when, like, probably not even 10 years ago, that was the norm.
3 years ago, that was the norm.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think questions like that, I don't know, in a roundabout way, are beneficial, and the answers to those for potential younger up-and-coming DPs, students that are listening to the show that might have some romantic idea about how much you might be able to control once you get into the working logistics of being a working cinematographer. And like you said, playing the hand you're dealt, making the most of that, also realizing the financials of it, but then having those moments where you say, yeah, listen, explain to me which LED out there can replicate the M90, right? Like, sometimes you have to know when to push, other times this is the hand, and what can you do?
Well, but also I have to say, okay, 30 years ago, 1990, whatever, 1, I don't think anybody would have asked any cinematographer, what did you shoot the movie with?
Not even the film.
Nobody cared.
No,
Yes?
not even the film store. Was it Fuji? Was it Kodak? Was it Alpha? Nobody cared.
Nothing. Nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
The question was, oh my God, it looks amazing. Would you mind telling me how you did it?
Mm-hmm.
Or how you achieved it? The first question I get every single time I get to do a master
camera?
class or whatever class, or not even master, a shitty class. Oh my God, what you shot it with? Yeah, it was the Sony Venice 2 with the whatever, engineer. Oh my God, it looks great. My next project, I'm going to shoot it with the Venice 2. And
not how
the
it works.
answer I give, the answer I give is usually to whoever the film student, younger person, it's like, do you understand that CNN and the NFL are shot with the Venice 2? You understand that, yes? And they look like that.
Exactly.
There's nothing to do. I consider myself a decent Steadicam operator. Some people said that I was very, very good in the early 90s. And I learned from Larry McConkey, legendary Steadicam operator. He said, it's not about the violin, it's about the player. You can give a Stradivarius to an idiot and it will be a disaster. You can give a shitty violin to a master and it's great. It's exactly the same. It's not about the tool, it's about what you do with it.
I said that exactly the same thing in a class that I gave in University of Cincinnati, and the kids were, what did you use for this, what did you use for that, what camera? And I said, look, I bet you right now that I give you a Venice 2 with the lenses of your choice. You give me your phone, I give you 20 minutes, and you give me 5, my shot is better than yours. And he said, how can that be? That because I've been 36 years creating shots and you haven't. So the tools are great to raise your level, but you're not going to get the level with the tools only. So
that's why our show's called The Craft and not The Tool Shed, right? Like we're talking about the act and what you do and what you bring to the table after 30 years, 40 years, how you use the tools.
Or even 12 years, doesn't matter.
Or even 12.
Yeah.
So, Checco, one question. Oh, sorry, Alex, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, please.
One question about a particular show that I love, and which is Dopsic. I love. Why you say ideas? I love I love the show, but I love specifically your work in there. I think that you created extremely beautiful images out of naturalism, as you said earlier, and I love how you work with the depth of field in that one. Can you explain to us how did you approach that and how you reached that tone?
Dopesick was probably the hardest show I ever shot.
Okay.
Because it's a bunch of lawyers in boring offices looking at documents and talking to each other about how are they gonna frame this company that killed 120,000 people a month for greed and capitalism and money. And I'm like, how am I gonna make this interesting? I had 3 aces in my pocket. The first ace was Barry Levinson directed the first 2 episodes. And Barry, it's an amazing director that had a vision of, I wouldn't say simplicity, but had a vision of a simple storytelling. So you get a shot that starts here, that pushes forward, and includes the 3 characters, and the only thing you need is the answer from the 4th character. So always the camera moving and always the camera searching. The second thing is we had an amazing script by Danny Strong, the showrunner producer. And the third thing is I had extraordinary collaborators. Daniele, which you're working with, Joseph Arena, and we all got together and decided that this should be naturalistic, because there is no Pennywise coming out of the window and all of a sudden the light turns blue, you know. The light doesn't turn anything. It is what it is. It's people in an office. I decided to honor sort of 12 Angry Men kind of look, you know, a very naturalistic yet stylized look. And I believe that was the second time, probably I'm wrong, second time I was working on large format, probably the third time. So we use the Zeiss Supremes, which at 1.9 for the pleasure of our focus pullers. This you can actually decide where the audience needs to see, because I couldn't choose where. Sometimes through production design you decide, okay, you know, the guy has a red scarf, so obviously your gaze is gonna go to the guy with the red scarf. These are people with fucking gray suits against gray walls. There is nothing to tell you as an audience where to look at. So that was given by the camera moves and the depth of field. That was the first time I was, not the first time, but it was late in my last 10 years was the first time I was working with Zeiss lenses. I'm agnostic about lenses. Every project is a different set of lenses. The Zeiss gave me the possibility of being clinical, yet creamy and beautiful, but also to decide where the audience should look. The depth of field was like an inch.
Yeah.
We were shooting at 1.9. And the focus pullers were having a heart attack, which is fine. You know, it's okay. I bought them coffees and beers at the end of the day.
Well compensated, yeah.
Yeah, well compensated. But it was one of the toughest shots I ever shot because it's not flashy. You know, it's not like...
That's why I love it so much. Because I find that really, really difficult to do, because you shot it chapter 2 and it's a horror film where you could be, as you said, more flashy
Totally
and
different.
high contrast and completely dark backgrounds. But in Dopsic, you have to show everything, because their offices and their doctors' offices,
It looks
which are
like
worse.
this. It looks like this.
But
I mean,
no.
without the flare, but it looks like this. People
no,
are
but-
against white walls.
I told this Daniele Colombera is a
Yes.
amazing DIT that works with me and also works with
nice.
with Checco. He's a genius and a great person. And when I met him, we were talking about what projects we have done, and he said, "I work on Dopsic." And I said, "No shit, this is one of the only TV shows that I ever seen." That I said, "I wish I shot that." Like exactly what you shot. I wish I could shot like that, because such realism and such naturalism, but with the style that you achieve, I think I find it really, really, really difficult to do. So that's why I love that show so much.
Let me give you 2 anecdotes about Dopsic that are, one is heartbreaking, the other one is sort of cinematographically fun. The heartbreaking is, I was born in Peru. I live in the States. Our daughter lives in the States. Patricia Regan, I'm her husband. She's not my wife because if I say she's my wife, she'll kill me. You know, it's
Your
not
partner.
a possessive thing.
Yeah.
We're partners in life. I've done 20 movies, 17 movies with her, and she directed 2 episodes. So we were, the first episode of Dopsic, we were in what is usually called on a set, the safety meeting, the first day. It is a big crew, you know, it's like a TV show. So it's like 80 people, plus the office people, plus the drivers, so 120 people. Virginia, we're all together the very first day. And the producer says, "Thank you, everyone. We're here. We love you, blah, blah, blah. It's a very important project." we're doing this for the victims of Oxycontin. And he asked, let me ask a question. Who has a family member or a relative that has been affected by this drug or whatever, this problem? Out of 120 people, there were 2 people that didn't raise their head.
Wow.
Myself, because I don't know anybody. I mean, I know people that got killed because of a coup d'etat in Latin America, but not Oxycontin. And Patricia, that is Mexican. 127 people raised their head.
Wow.
And it's like, and he started asking, you, my mom, you, my brother, you, my cousin. And I literally, kid you not, I started crying. Because it became all of a sudden this project that I was doing when I was doing news and thinking I could change the world. And I failed. I didn't change the world when I was doing news. I failed miserably. But you know what? With Dopesick, we did change the world. I didn't. The project did. The Sackler family got indicted. They took the name out of all the museums. And we made it. Not myself. We all made it. The 128 people plus the writer. But to me, it was shocking. Completely shocking. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. All these people have someone that has died of this? And I don't know anyone? I'm the only alien here. Everybody is from Earth. I'm from like Venus, Saturn, whatever. That's one anecdote. And the other anecdote is I was in the camera truck a couple of weeks later. Daniele, your DIT, is in the camera truck. And I go to the camera truck to get my espresso, obviously, you know. And I see a box that says Sony. And I said, Daniele, what is this? Oh, they sent us a prototype. I'm like, okay.
You mean a
so
pilot?
No, exactly. A pilot. Exactly. Is this a pilot? No, it's a prototype. Oh, so I open the box and I take, and it looks like your Canon, Nikon, whatever. It looks like a still camera. And I said, what is this? Is the Sony FX3. And I'm like, what does it does? Oh, it's great. It does this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. So I dropped it in the camera truck and I said to Daniele, there is a scene, I want to use it this afternoon. And I started walking away. And Daniele goes, no, you can't. It's a prototype. I haven't tested. It's not ready. And I said, Daniele, I don't give a fuck. We're using it tonight. Sure enough, we used it. It made the movie. And then a couple of months later, I did an interview with Sony. I talked about it. And then 6 months later, Mr. Nobu, the Sony gentleman that created, he said, through the translator, because of you and the interview, we sold, 5,000 of this. I'm like, great, whatever. It's a great camera. So those two things happen in Dopesick.
Daniele, sorry, Alex. Daniele is responsible for me using that camera extensively in the last two projects. Yeah,
it's an amazing little camera.
it is.
Have you tried the FX2?
Not yet.
Just a smaller version, right? Or similar
No,
version?
I wouldn't use it to shoot a movie with, but for scouts, it's unbelievable. So sorry, this is probably at the end of the interview, I'll tell you, but if you were to, so I have 5 days of Saturdays of pre-light in this thing. So I'm not bringing my DIT and my camera operator and blah, blah, the camera, the Venice, I'm just bringing my FX2. Takes the same lot, it has the same sensitivity, it has the same color science, so I can look at the location and say, it looks good. Thank you.
Nice.
Nice. What was the scene or the moment in Dubsec where you're like, I need that versus just the Rialto or something like that?
Well, we did have a Rialto. There is a moment in episode 3 where one of the drug addicts breaks the window of a pharmacy with a brick and runs and jumps over a counter in the pharmacy and ravages the pharmacy for Oxycontin. So I always wanted to come from the very beginning all the way over the counter and end up in the back of the pharmacy as a one shot. But I could have not done that because once you get to the counter, whether it's a Steadicam or a Technocrane or whatever, you have to stop and go to the other side and pick him up. With the FX3, we run behind the guy. Well, I didn't. Somebody did. Run behind the guy. When we got to the counter, he jumped over the counter. The operator on this side of the counter extended the arms, and from below the counter, a guy came up, picked up the camera, and kept running. The FX3 has a stabilized sensor. We were shooting with the Sony lenses that are also stabilized. So all the handheld was completely seamless.
Great use case.
We could have not done it with another camera. I mean,
A lot more rigging, a lot more. Yeah.
yeah, breaking the counter in two. It was a real pharmacy. It wasn't a stage. I couldn't have put a cable com or anything. So yes, it was a location. I mean, it was a pharmacy. The only thing we changed was the glass in the front that we broke. Other than that, it was a pharmacy. So it was very interesting how that little tool gave us a completely different feeling.
Yeah. So you said earlier, Checo, that you are lens agnostic, that you use every lens, the lens you need for every project. I am the same. I think Alex is the same too. We're not married to any lens. But how do you choose the lens? How do you land on it has to be the Zeiss Premiere, it has to be a Panavision, whatever. How do you land in there? Do you test or
Oh yeah, extensive, boring, horrible. Days and days and days. Yes. I also do believe, and you may think that this is bullshit, but anyway. I also do believe that lenses are made by human beings. So therefore, they have the hands of the artisan that made them, or designed them, or polished them. So if you really go to a lens and go like this, very close, and whisper, and talk to the lenses, and you put your ear without the headphone, the lenses will answer to you. If you talk to the lenses, they will answer. Some lenses don't like be wide open. Some lenses like to be a stop. I give you a great example. The Hawk lenses are amazing. The T1s are amazing. If you open them at one, they
They
look
suck.
like you had,
they suck?
yeah, an LSD. You know, if you work at 2, they're better. If you work at 2.8, they're amazing lenses.
Yeah.
So every lens has a personality, and you cannot mistreat them. You have to treat them carefully, and you have to love them, and you have to respect them. I think I always end up doing analogies with cooking because I like to cook, and you don't fry things, you simmer things. You don't burn things, you love them and cook them. You don't peel tomatoes unless you have to. And if you have to, you have forgiveness to the tomatoes because you are peeling them. So it's a respect to the lens or to the tomato. Lenses are, in my opinion, and this sounds very weird, lenses are living beings. And you have to talk to them. You have to ask them questions. And if you listen carefully, they will answer to you. And the answer is the one you want. It's not your answer, it's their answer. So, the Zeiss Radiance, they like hard light and they create a blue flare. But if you want a red flare, you're talking to the wrong girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You have the wrong lover. It's a love relationship. So I'm agnostic because every project is different. And when I asked the question, the lenses talked to me and said, I don't think I'm good for you on this one. I'll forgive you. I'll see you on the next one.
But to ask the right question, then when you go to test those lenses, you need to know that you want to shoot wide open.
Yes.
That decision is already made. It's like the movie is going to be wide open because I want to separate the backgrounds and I want to isolate the characters and this and that. And then you do the test. You don't do the test 2 months before the movie then.
You do the test because you want to separate the characters. And you know some lenses are good for that and some lenses are not.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to say is you don't ask the wrong lens to do what you want because they won't.
Yeah.
They have a personality and they have a character and they don't like you. And they actually will make your life miserable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. The wrong lens, choosing the wrong lens it's we all been there, and it's a horrible experience.
It's a horrible experience. And then halfway through you change it and how do you explain yourself? You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned Dope Sick being, 1.9. We've talked to a few people, and we all know a few people who there's a certain stop. They're like every project is a 2.84 split. That's just how my eye sees, how the images that I like. Is yours similar to lens choice? Is your stop agnostic, or is there a certain range you like to work?
I'm stop agnostic. It depends on the lenses. I mean, 1, 2, 2.8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, Have I ever shot a movie, all of it in 11? No. Not that I want right now, I don't know. But usually it's like 2.8, it's a stop that it's commonly known as I'm not gonna fuck it up kind of stop.
Yeah.
Dope Sick was 1.9, Daisy Jones was a 2. The last movie I did with Patricia, G20 with Viola Davis, that was a movie that required a very studio look, depth of field, 1980s kind of thing. So we were 2.8 split, 2.84 split. And nowadays, honestly, with the cameras we have, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, the Venice goes to 6,000 before even you blink.
Yeah.
So what does it mean, the stop? The stop doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What it means is where does the lens land in the most efficient and possibly beautiful way. you know.
Yeah, you're right in that. And when I started at least with less budget movies, the stop was given by the amount of light that you could rent. Now the stop is an artistic choice. You go. I'm shooting this movie is 3200 base, has zero grain at 6400 zero grain. So I'm shooting it at 2.8. That's an artistic choice. It's not, I only can shoot wide open because I don't have any more light.
No. It's an artistic choice. I'm sure you're working with an ND11 or 12,
and ND9
whatever.
sometimes. At night, ND6 sometimes, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not, oh my God, I need to do this because I don't have that. I need to do this because I like it, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you, this is a common question that we do here now, that knowing that agnosticness of you with the lenses, if you had to only
tough one.
choose one for the rest of your life, one lens, not one series, just one lens, which one will be? And why?
One lens for the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I will choose an 8-inch chef knife with ceviche and fish to cook. If I had a choice in my life, the only thing I will eat the rest of my life is fish with lime. And for that, you need an 8-inch chef knife.
That's the best answer. We got of all of them, actually.
I love it.
No, I'm not gonna
You're gonna
fall for
box
that.
me in that. If you're gonna box me in that hard, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out. Yeah, I'll open a taco place. I'll open a ceviche with a little palapa. I don't know how you say palapa in English, but a little
Yeah, shed,
palapa
yeah.
shed in Puerto Vallarta with a corona and a ceviche with an 8-inch knife. Just hold on a second. Don't go anywhere.
It's okay. We'll be your first customers. That's the best answer ever.
Oh yeah.
Right there with you. I mean, we've talked about this. I'll go be a pig farmer.
I was like 8-inch. What kind of lens is that? 8-inch? What?
8-inch chef. No, I know. I was thinking. I'm like, okay, we're going 2 inches. You know.
So this is, I don't travel with any lenses. You know, I'm going to be here for 4 months.
Yeah.
I travel with my sushi knife,
Oh.
which is very nice actually.
Yep.
Travel with my sushi knife. I travel with a paring knife. I travel with a sontoko knife. And I travel with this thing to grate
Pepper.
nutmeg. It's a grater. It's a little portable
it's a
grater.
tiny, small. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I don't travel
What's funny
with
is these are all for negotiations, not for cooking.
cookies. Oh, and I travel with my steel chopsticks so I can cook.
Oh wow.
No, I don't travel with what lens? 8-inch sushi knife. That's awesome. That's it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is fantastic. I was going to ask about G20. My wife and I watched it last night.
Thank you.
It's a fun, action movie.
It's
I assume
a
a lot
very
of sets.
it's a very 80s movie. It's sort of like yeah.
We enjoy it. Viola's great. But some of those scenes, especially towards the beginning where, she's meeting all the heads of state and everything, and you've got 50,
Massive.
100 people that you need to showcase all these POVs. Can you walk through how do you approach this kind of ballroom, low light set, moon coming through the window? I mean, you're like, I gotta show her, him,
Well, I'm married to the
instead
director.
of just over soft light. Yeah.
I'm married to the director. So the director said to me, me valen madres tus lucecitas y voy a filmar lo que quiera.
Just, do you want to translate it?
I let Kwame translate that.
Basically, the director, his wife said, "I don't give a fuck about your lighting. I want to shoot wherever I want to shoot."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yes, boss.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's
you
one
know?
of those scenes where it seems like you need to be ready to shoot anywhere. So how do you?
We had 5
DP,
cameras.
we go,
We had
Wow.
5 cameras shooting at the same time everywhere. So I had a brilliant console board operator. I put 100 or 80, I can't remember, 80 moving lights. Like they look like they belong to the ballroom.
yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah, but they're moving lights. So I was like, oh, Viola is there. Okay, Rohart, that one, there, that one, there. Bring it down, send it up.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. It took 5 weeks to rig the place. 4 weeks, sorry. And we were ready pretty much everywhere.
Wow.
That's a smart approach.
But it's not
It-
like you just throw in a hard spot because everyone still looks great. So it's like
it
you
was
gotta,
a very specific. We had 80 moving lights placed everywhere. We didn't have time to just like drop a pipe and put a whatever LED something. No, there was no time. We had 3 weeks for that whole set. Even though we shot 239, I believe, the place was very, very large. So you would see the lights at any given point. So I started with, like, Juanmi would back me up on this. I started with, like, okay, let's get some moving flats and dropping lights. And after like 3 days, I'm like, fuck it. No, I'm never going to have time to do that. So what is the only way? And we hired a rock and roll company in Cape Town, like a concert company. And they provided us with 80 small-ish moving lights. We programmed them all, and that was it, you know.
wow.
So, for a new project, now let's say you get a new script tomorrow, and you read the script and you like it, and you agree.
Would
to
you
make
like
the
to talk to my agent, because I would love him to send me a new script. Juanmi, if you can call Pete Franciosa 323, I'll give you the number. Sorry.
I will. Anyways, when you get a new script and you read it, do you have a process that you always follow to get there? And what kind of process is it?
So there are 2 parts for cinematographers. One is you get a new script and you pitch yourself to the director. And that is a whole thing, because now we have to do a presentation. So I hire a friend of mine and we look through shot deck and we put a thing together. But generally speaking, I read the script 3 times. The first time I read the script as a script. I read all of it. The second time, I try not to read the exterior night. I only read the dialogues. I don't read the slug lines. Because if I don't understand what is happening when people are talking, I don't read the description. And all of a sudden, Maria was very sad and she started feeling the weight of all her life on her shoulders. I don't know how to shoot that.
Yeah,
Somebody's feeling the weight of all their lives on their shoulders.
that's
Is that a
unshootable.
25 or a 35? Is that a push in? It's a steady cam, or it's, I mean, I don't know that. That's up to the actor. So the second time I read it, only the dialogue. And only the third time I grab a pencil. I hate to say this to all our viewers, but pencil is this thing that it has an eraser at the end and a little graphite on this side, and you write on paper. It's nothing to do with an iPhone or an iPad. No, it's a piece of paper. So I grab a pencil, usually 3 or 5 different colors, and I start writing things. It's
1,000 people just started Googling what is a pencil.
Yes, exactly. Usually number 3 because it's softer. And then, only then, I start thinking about, oh my God, how am I going to shoot this? What do I feel about this? How do I feel this is looking? And then you have the meeting with the director, and then all of a sudden, you quote, yes, I think this looks like Training Day. Training Day, remember Denzel Washington, all brainy. And the director looks to the producer and said, I told you, I was supposed to shoot Training Day, but I lost it for the other guy. So you know you lost the movie. You're not doing the movie. You know, you quoted the wrong movie. So I usually don't quote movies. I usually quote painters, still photographers, journalists, you know. Because if you quote, oh my God, I think this scene looks like Bridge of Spies. I was supposed to shoot Bridge of Spies, but, you know, Spielberg got it. I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Where do I validate the ticket for the parking? Sorry.
But do you gather, at least, even if it's for yourself, do you gather pictures or images, or do you have a book with that kind of references or not?
No. Usually what I do is I gather reference from painters, not because of what I just told you, half as a joke and half as reality. I usually gather painters and photojournalists. For me, I usually reach out to the art department, which is usually they have been hired before me for a few weeks. So they usually spend all the money I was supposed to have, and I don't have it anymore because they also built all these sets that I need to light, but they don't have any money left. You know, Juanmi, you know that very well, and you too. I usually do it for myself. I propose lenses, I propose looks. I work very closely with my colorist or the colorist of the show. I've been lucky enough to be attached umbilically to Company 3 and Stefan Sonnenfeld. So I've done my last 15 years, 18 years with him. So I send him some tests, he tweaks them, and we work on them. But I try to stay open to, at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a tool in the director's tool set. So whatever I try to force, it would even, not force, whatever I try to push, it would either backfire or backfire. So I keep my options open. And once I get the question, I bring the answer. And I'm not saying that I don't want to have an opinion. I don't think my opinion is as relevant as the director's feeling about the movie. Maybe because I'm married to a director, and at the end of the day, I know how much they suffer. I know how much they are tortured. So the least thing they want is one other guy or girl, whatever, one other person to torture them. That's my instinct. And I don't agree with this saying that we have in Spanish, that we say in Spanish, que ellos hagan su peliculita, yo hago la mía. They should do their little movie, I'll do mine. I don't think that is fair. I mean, this is not my movie. This
Yeah.
is the director's movie, or the studio movie, or whoever's movie it is. I'm here to serve a bigger, much bigger purpose.
Well, that in a nutshell is the very definition of what a director of photography is. Somebody who serves the movie and the director mainly, and their vision. That's it, right?
I don't know what else to do. I mean, it's not my movie. If it were my movie, I would get residuals. I don't get residuals, so good luck with everyone. I mean, it's like, yes, whatever you want.
Oh, that's amazing. What's the spread like, or been like in your career with directors that are
Yep.
where it's they're so camera movement framing centric versus directors that look to you and the operator to frame and move the camera? How's that spread been? Is it more so directors that this is exactly where the camera goes and you just light it?
Well, I wouldn't put it like I just light it. I do a fantastic job for making an amazing product out of their idiotic framing. Yes. I think it depends on the directors. The director I'm working with now has an extraordinarily clear idea of what he wants. He wrote the script, he came up with the idea, he sold it to the studio likes his vision. We're collaborating as much as we both can to serve his vision. There are other directors that would say, this is the blocking, what do you think we should do? And there are other directors that say, this is what they're saying, what do you think the blocking should be? And I'm, again, like the lenses, I'm agnostic. I don't know how to direct a movie, and I would never dare to do that because it's not part of my DNA. I know how to do second units. I know how to crash a car from right to left and make sure everybody gets really excited and at the end there is a big explosion. I know how to do that. I could do that in my sleep. With all respect for the second unit directors. Do I know how to direct a movie? The answer is no. Do I want to direct a movie? The answer is no. I don't know how to do that. But I really know how to tell a story in the least amount. The least amount is not a good way of putting it. In the most efficient amount of shots that will tell the story compellingly. You want my opinion? I can give it to you. You don't want my opinion? I'll shoot whatever you want me to shoot. So I don't have a preference. And actually, at the end of the day, I run into directors that tell me what to do, and I run into directors that ask me what to do. And I'm comfortable with either or. Am I happier one way or the other? Not really. Not really. It depends. I'm happier if the product is better, you know.
Do you think there's some element of your past in conflict zones that's led to kind of a calmer, able to kind of take all this information, assess, and move forward given that information approach? I'm
Yes.
trying to, I don't know if I worded that appropriately.
Yes. Yes. I worked throughout the last 30 years of my life to become less of a violent person. If you ask me, I would like to kill everyone. But it's not really something nice to do. So I've been working on that for the last 30 years, and Yoga helps. Breathing deep helps. I'm just kidding. Coming from, this is what Daniele could tell you, I always say. It's like, oh my God, we're losing the light, we're losing the light. I'm like, yep, we're losing the light. Option number one, you write night exterior and we light it. Option number two, we come back tomorrow. There is nothing I can do in between.
Exactly.
It's like either we come back tomorrow and we do it again, and that's gonna cost you $125,000 because it's 120 a day, and tomorrow is Saturday, so it's 243. Or you write night exterior and you wait for an hour until I light it, and we do night exterior. I'm not gonna change the fact that the sun set. That's not changing.
Yeah.
You see that big bright bulb there? It just went down that way, and right now it's over New York. It's not over London. So, what are you worried about? There is nothing I can do about it. And that comes
No,
from
yelling
my
helps.
life. Sorry?
I said yelling helps, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing I can do about it, you know? And that comes from what you just said. You know, I've been in situations where we're not saving lives, you know? We are making a beautiful movie that is very important, but nobody needs to suffer nor die, nor, God forbid, die, but suffer or get injured or get screamed at, you know?
It's after 35 years in the business and being a camera operator and then a Steadicam operator and DP, is there anything that you haven't done that you go like, oh, I wish I could make this that you haven't?
I haven't done anything. I need to do everything again, all of it. I wish I could wear a Steadicam. I wish I could fly in a helicopter. I wish I could do a sunset. I wish I could see a horse running into the sunset. And I wish I could do it all over again, just because I love it. I haven't done enough. I need more of it. Way more.
I don't know how we can continue after that answer. That's brilliant.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much, Checco.
Right.
This has been a
Thank you.
fantastic chat. You're amazing. Your work is amazing. You have done a lot. And I'm very good too.
I haven't done enough. Wait, I have another 15 years. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it in 5 and then in 10.
We'll talk to you again, and if possible, we'll talk to you personally around a table and that ceviche that
That'd
you're gonna
be
cook for us.
fantastic.
Ceviche, white wine. The Pinot is not that bad with the ceviche. Guinness, I wouldn't recommend with ceviche because it's a little heavy.
I'll take the
Muchas
Pinot.
gracias. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
guys.
much.
Really appreciate, man.